Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Joy News, your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Quito residents of the Salaga municipality say the tortuous nature of the link road is claiming lives of unsuspecting road users while cutting them off from neighboring communities. We'll tell you what they intend to do about it to change the situation. Also this afternoon, Ghana Armed Forces and Police Service fight back claims of contracting land guards to reclaim state lands. We'll bring you details shortly as land law experts say he sees nothing wrong with the state engaging third parties to secure government lands. Plus, I am the only candidate who poses threat to the electoral fortunes of the opposition NDC in the Volta region. That's the MPP's flag bearer hopeful, Alan Chermanteng, as he takes his campaign to that part of the country. We'll tell you more. Many thanks for choosing us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. It's at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is at Denana Aisha. Please stay for details. Residents in Quito in the Salaga South municipality of the Savannah region have condemned the deplorable conditions on the Quito-Salaga road. The residents say the road is worse in the region, describing it as a death trap. According to them, plying the Quito-Salaga stretch demands lots of caution because of its tortuous nature.
The Quito electoral area has 12 communities, a major food growing area in the Salaga South municipality. But over the years, neglect of the road has literally cut them from the rest of the world. Drivers must learn to be patient and with great care to navigate the road. For now, commercial vehicles have stopped plying the area. Therefore, to travel to Salaga or Pandai, one has to travel on a motorcycle or a tricycle. The residents say to travel with a sick person or a woman in labor, one would have to spend hours on the road, sometimes losing the patient. Assemblyman for the area, Liman Elijah, said they are currently cut off from the rest of the world. A situation, he said, is disturbing.
And looking at the road, this is a major road that supplies foodstuff to Salaga market. And when you look at it, for past months, cars cannot even go to Salaga market. It was only motorkins and other things. And anytime it rains, the motorkins cannot also go. And we only have one clinic on this route. And that clinic referred to Salaga Hospital. So referring women from here or clients from here to Salaga is also another problem. The motorkins cannot even go. So when you get a car, they will not go. So it's a problem for them to even travel. Even when it is in the night, the clients cannot go. So we are suffering. The people are suffering. Another resident, Mbabai, lamented that the situation is unbearable.
This road is so terrible. You can ride and get to a place you cannot go again. So, if a motorbike can get stuck, imagine a vehicle. If the authorities believe we are humans, they should consider us and fix the road. Traders are losing. For us, if the road is not fixed, no food.
Madam Mary said people continue to lose their lives on that road, especially pregnant women. This tricycle I have ordered, by the time I return, my sons will be running everywhere to either get me drugs to relieve me of pain or take me to the hospital. The roads are in terrible state. Every year, politicians come and deceive us, vote for us, we would fix your road. But nothing has been done. This bad road network has taken many of our colleagues to their early graves. Nana Kojo Pine Owusu, who had traveled from the Ashanti region to the area, could ask for only one thing: help to save lives.
So from Saraga to Gurubi Quarters, in fact, the road is very bad. So during the rainy season, if the car brings some goods from Gurubi Quarters to Saraga or from Saraga to Gurubi Quarters, in fact, it's not easy. At times, they got accident on the road. Please, we are begging to government to maintain the road from Gurubi Quarters to Saraga or Saraga to Gurubi Quarters.
For these people, they have resolved that until their road is fixed, no political party is allowed into the area to campaign for the 2024 general elections. For Joy News, Martina Bugri reported.
The Ghana National Fire Service says at least 280 people were rescued from floods in the Kumasi metropolis in June 2023. Most victims in flood-prone areas were trapped in their homes after heavy rains. Recent torrential rain flooded most areas in Kumasi, claiming almost 10 lives. Nana Gyakye Quayson has more.
Each year, flooding causes more deaths than any hazard related to thunderstorms. It wreaks havoc on development infrastructure and increases human casualties. In the Ashanti region, Ohim, Sewua, Ebuakwa Asenemaso, Tafo Inshayaso, Hiawo Besianse and Sapase are among flood-prone communities. Residents experience heavy flooding anytime there is a downpour. The flood breaks down walls and inundates homes. Trapped residents call on the fire service to their rescue.
When it rains, you will regret, as we are doing now. When the place gets flooded, we run away from our homes.
It isn't like that, but we don't know what is the cause of the water this time around. It will be flowing. Before you realize, it will come back to this particular area, and it will even get into this particular pool. In fact, it's a problem to us over here. We don't know what to do to this particular situation. We need your help. Since you've come, we know you are our mouthpiece. You should send this particular problem to the highest team.
According to the fire service, 280 victims of flood were rescued in June alone. Regional Communications Director DO3 Peter Ade says some victims are trapped in their homes and others from the outskirts.
This year alone, we've done about 280 rescues. I mean, we've rescued about 280 people from flood cases that happened in Tafo, Inshayaso, Besianse, Sepase, and many other places.
Streams are blocked with debris, reducing the rates that water flows, causing floods in communities. Peter Ade says the fire service remains on standby to rescue victims as the rains come down heavily.
If you are trapped in any flood situation, the best institution to call is fire service to come in to rescue you. I'm sure if you also monitor the airwaves, you realize that we are doing a lot of education on floods.
For Joy News, Nana Gyakye Quayson, Kumasi.
Let's stay on roads because we're taking you to New Botiano, where erosion has eaten away the road, which is the only access to homes of some residents. One such residents can only enter their homes with aid of a ladder lowered into the massive gutter created in front of the house as a result of erosion. And my colleague Maxwell Agbagba has been visiting that area. We'll bring him on to tell us more as and when we get him.
This is supposed to be a road in Greater Accra, washed away by the rain. And so the occupants of this house will use this ladder. After they have descended into this drain, let me come close so you at least it gives you a good idea how deep we're looking at. Huh? What? So when they descend into the gutter or into the pit, they come on this ladder as well. As this man descends in, he is going to go home. Look at him. Look. So this young man is going home. This young man is going home. The only way to go home is to do this, and climb up this ladder, in order to go home. This is supposed to be English Yamanfro constituency in the Greater Accra region, New Botiano, to be specific. What will happen to your child when they fall sick at night and you have to rush them to a hospital? If your wife is pregnant and you have to rush her at the point of delivery, what will happen to you on your way? How do you even navigate your way through this in order to get home? Come on. MPs, MCEs, DCEs, assembly members, government machinery, all the talking. This is what it comes to. Please.
Away from that to other stories, the Ghana Armed Forces and Police Service are fighting back the minorities' claim that the government is contracting land guards to reclaim state lands. Deputy Ranking Member on the Lands and Forestry Committee, Al-Hassan Sweeney, told journalists at a press conference Monday that Chief Director of the Lands Ministry, Professor Patrick Asinyale, had revealed to the committee that the government, including police and armed forces, have been engaged in the services of land guards to retrieve and protect state lands. But the two security agencies have mounted a strong defense, describing the claims as untrue and baseless. First, listen to excerpts of the armed forces statement read by my colleague Gyakye Quayson.
It is unimaginable that the Ghana Armed Forces cannot protect its own lands, but rather indulge in illegality by relying on the services of land guards, a prescribed activity. The Armed Forces deem it regrettable that such reports are in the news. They also take on Al-Hassan Sweeney, who made this allegation and says that at least he should have taken steps to verify this. They call that the media should ignore these false claims from him.
The police have also responded to this in a statement issued Monday night, insisting the claim is false, baseless, and unfounded and should be treated with the contempt it deserves. And that statement reads, the police administration has taken notice of an online news story published on myjournline.com in which Chief Director of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources at a parliamentary committee meeting on June 10 is alleged to have stated the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service procures services of land guards to reclaim and protect its lands. It says that claim is false, baseless, and unfounded and should be treated with the contempt it deserves. And goes on to say the police service has never in any occasion engaged the services of land guards to reclaim or protect its lands. In fact, on the contrary, the service has in recent times intensified its anti-land guard operations in communities affected by the activities of these land guards, and this renewed effort will not stop until perpetrators of such illegal activities are brought to justice. The police service says it wishes to assure the public that the police service, working in partnership with other security agencies, remains committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring public safety and security at all times. And it says it will continue to count on the support of the good people of Ghana in this regard. Let's do politics. The Alan Chermantin campaign team has petitioned the leadership of the governing New Patriotic Party to hold the August 26 Special Delegates Congress in a centralized location in the interest of transparency. The party will hold the Congress to limit the 10 presidential aspirants to 5 in accordance with the dictates of its constitution ahead of the November National Delegates Congress to select a presidential candidate. Former Member of Parliament for Menchia North, Collins Owusu Amankwa, tells Joy News the Alan team is against the decentralized process proposed by the party.
As a ruling party, in order to consolidate power, we need to energize the base, and also our conduct as incumbent government must well be checked. Hopefully, we're going for superdelegates conference next month. There are two schools of thought. Those proposing that we should go by the decentralized conference at the regional level. Others are also saying, and the proponents of those saying that we should centralize it at the national level. I must say that I'm a strong advocate for such proposal.
Which one? The decentralize at the national level?
Yes. In that it ensures more transparency, accountability, and security.
So meaning you want all the delegates, those who qualify to participate in this special congress, you want all them to congregate at one spot for the election?
Yes. In that the number is not overwhelming. You have less than 1,000 delegates converging in one place. Even at the National Delegates Conference, which the number is even more than 5,000, we converged at one place. I think that when you go by the centralized system, it minimizes coercion, it minimizes intimidation or extreme machination by the powers that be. I mean, to ensure a free, fair, and fair election, I think that is the way to go.
Have you formalized this proposal? Have you brought this to the attention of the National Executive for consideration?
It's something that I'm planning to table through petition because it's of grave concern to absolute majority of the party people. I think conduct your own survey. You will know that it is very popular proposal at the base of the party, and we feel that if the leadership would listen, to go a long way to shape and prepare the party.
Meanwhile, Alan Kwadwo Kyeremanteng has asserted he is the only candidate who poses a threat to the electoral fortunes of the NDC in the Volta region, its stronghold. He indicates that people of the region have confidence in him, considering his track record, charisma, and popularity, hence would vote for him if he becomes a flag bearer of the governing NPP. He therefore appealed to the NPP delegates in the region to endorse his candidature to enable the governing party to win the 2024 general elections and maintain power. Mr. Kyeremanteng said this during the first day of his cluster tour of the Volta region.
Hopeful, Alan John Kwadwo Kyeremanteng kicked off his cluster tour of the Volta region in Sugakope, where he met delegates from South, North, and Central Town constituencies. He shared with them his transformational agenda for both the New Patriotic Party and Ghana. The team proceeded to Aplau to meet delegates from Ketu South, Anglon, and Keta constituencies. Mr. Kyeremanteng entreated delegates to impose their confidence in him as he stands tall among the 10 candidates to win power for the NPP.
I'm the only one who can stand tall to vote in Volta region. True or false? You see, the people of the Volta region have always been sending a message to NPP, except that we are not hearing them. Volta region has been saying, it's not that we don't like NPP. We like NPP, but bring the right candidate.
Now, St. North MP Gyakye Quayson has failed once again to put his criminal trial on hold. The High Court has ruled that nothing stops it from proceeding with the case despite multiple legal processes filed at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. The legislator is standing for allegedly committing offences including perjury and forgery. The court had earlier indicated it will hold its hearing on a day-to-day basis. Mr. Quayson has since been pushing to set this aside, but this quest has failed once more. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akable joins us with more. Joseph, what justification did the court give for its decision?
So Justice Mary Nyanzu did indicate that in terms of what was put before her, she said she was not convinced to depart from position that had been taken by other superior courts, especially the Supreme Court. She does indicate that the Supreme Court has seen a number of cases indicated that where there is a trial ongoing and there is an appeal or any interlocutory process that goes above either the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court, the court would only put its proceedings on hold when the higher court directs it to do so. So the court says that nothing has been put before it that suggests that there's an order from any court above. It again indicated that there are certain instances where the court can depart from the directions or a decision that has been taken by a higher court, and especially when that decision was taken in error of law. It says what was put before it does not convince her to do that as well. And so she proceeded to have the case go on, saying that she's not convinced that she has to put the trial on hold, Aisha.
Joseph, bring us up to speed on the cross-examination of the state's first witness.
A very interesting proceedings here. Richard Tichimensa, who is the individual who petitioned the police CID to investigate James Gyakye Quayson, is that complaint that gave rise to the entire case against him in terms of the forgery allegations. Now, in the course of the cross-examination, Judge Chikata sought to find out from him whether he actually authored the document himself or whether someone wrote it for him. But in the course of proceedings, it came to light that he had indicated in one breath that this was something that he had compiled himself, written in English. But later on, a document from the police service was brought in to show that it appears he had indicated to the police that he was given the evidence to them in Twi and for it to be written in English. Subsequently, the issue of whether when he petitioned the police, he attached certain documents or evidence to it, it also turns out that nothing was attached to it by way of what was put before. So that is by way of the cross-examination that has taken place so far. Aisha, I have with me legal practitioner Wanda Kuto. He is with the National Democratic Congress as well. He joins me here today. I mean, what do you make of the proceedings that took place today? Are you satisfied with what transpired?
Chikata came out with some key questions. You can see how inconsistent this was. See, for example, we claim that he wrote the statement himself in English, but it turned out that if you look at the statement itself, it was stated that it was done in Twi, being recorded by the police officer. And that was the credibility of the prosecution. It's a major blow. You know what this is? Once your star witness, I think it's in doubt. That is the end of the case.
I mean, in terms of the processes, the case itself, you lost the request for the trial to be put on hold. You have to go and make the same argument at the Court of Appeal tomorrow.
Of course.
Well, there's difficulty hearing the lawyer who speaks there, but definitely you heard Joseph Akable explaining what has transpired in court, the fact that James Gyakye Quayson has not been able to stop the court from hearing his case on a day-by-day basis. Is the sound clear now? Can we hear the lawyer?
More importantly, it seems so far that the prosecution star witness does not have the credibility. He talks to me about those attachments in the statement. He said he attached all those recorded from it's possible, it might be, it could be. Somebody was so sure that he the statement was so sure that he attached them. Then he's telling the whole that.
Meanwhile, the NDC minority are boycotting sitting today as long as the trial of their colleague Gyakye Quayson continues. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us with details. Kweku, has sitting started and what's the attendance in the House?
Well, yes, sitting has started barely an hour ago. There are no NDC MPs on the floor as usual because they decided to boycott today's proceedings to solidarize with their colleague James Gyakye Quayson in court. On the side of the NDC, however, the attendance is really low. We know that the NDC MPs are in total 138 together with the independent MPs. There are less than 30 of them on the floor today, and so that is the state of play. If you enter the chamber now, you will see just about 30 of them or less actually taking their seat as businesses progress.
On the 3 previous occasions that the minority boycotted sitting, I mean, the House was forced to adjourn. Do you have any indication of business proceeding as usual?
Well, yes, it appears the majority side are defiant today. They want to see business getting done. We told you last week that our Great Minister, Dr. Brian Asampon, was expected in Parliament today to brief MPs on the debt that is owed the suppliers of the Buffer Stock Company Limited. He has come to the floor today to answer questions. He says that 50% of the debt has been paid. He expects that that money will hit the account of the food suppliers by midweek, that is tomorrow, Wednesday. And so, despite the minority boycott of sitting today, and despite the scenarios we've seen on the floor play out, where almost on all those occasions the House has been forced to attend, the majority side alone are poised to go ahead with business today. And despite their numbers being really low, they are going ahead with business.
Well, Kwekwa, I have you hold for me because the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Brian Asampon, has told Parliament that 50% of the debt owed suppliers of the National Food Buffer Stock Company have been paid. According to the minister, the expectation is that this amount paid will hit the accounts of the suppliers by Wednesday. Kweku, we know today the suppliers have threatened to go back to the Buffer Stock Company to sleep there. I mean, how is the minister justifying that they've really paid and it should hit the accounts of these suppliers?
Yes, according to the minister, the expectation is that on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, the money will go through the processes, the bureaucratic processes, the finance ministry, the controller, for the money to hit the account, and that is the expectation. It says that it is not justified for the picketers to continue picketing the Buffer Stock Company Limited because the money will hit the account very soon.
Gyakye Quayson is a parliamentary correspondent. Definitely there's more coming your way in our subsequent bulletins from Parliament. Now, if it is taking you years to secure an ECG meter for your house or shop, brace yourself because the power distributor says lack of cash is making it difficult for it to acquire and make them available to you. That is according to the Managing Director of ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament yesterday. The issue of accessing meters remains a problem for many, with those with readily available money unable to get them from the ECG. We'll hear from the ECG boss shortly, but first, this is a seamstress, Joseph Mbwedi, whose meter was part of some 3 meters stolen from an electric pole in Odoko, official town, over a month ago, and she says the ECG is yet to replace that meter.
That they told us to come and pay 500 cedis each. After that, they will bill us and tell us what we should pay every month. After that, they will come and install the light for us. I wasn't understand about that 500 because I thought it should be a down payment for the light that we are using with that meter, but it wasn't like that. They said we should pay. And I asked, is it payment for the meter? They said no, we are not paying for the meter. But we have to pay that 500 to their coffers. That's the ECG account. So we have to go make that payment. They do the estimate and give you bill before they connect it to you.
So did they do the connection for you? Did they fix the meter? It's been 1 month. Did they fix the meter for you?
It wasn't a meter. They fixed it straight from the pole.
So they came to do a direct connection for you?
Yeah.
Which means that you are using electricity now, but it is not read through any meter?
No. It's not going through any meter. It's direct from the pole.
The issue of difficulty in accessing ECG meters came up during the Public Accounts Committee sitting yesterday when the ECG MD Samuel Mahama appeared before the committee. Ningo Prampram MP Sam George first raised the issue about how one of his constituents has been waiting for 2 years to be given a meter. He got a response from ECG boss. Watch what had transpired.
You think that it is not your business to manage vehicles. Why is it your business to be selling meters? Your business is to sell power. So why are you selling meters and not creating enough meters. There are no meters in the system. There are people, it's a public interest question. There are people in my constituency. Yesterday I had a town hall meeting, and someone brought me receipts for 2 years that he has paid to the Pram Pram ECG office for 12 meters for his shopping complex, and he hasn't received it. If such a person decides to engage in illegal connection, does that not create a problem? In the telecom space, I don't need to go to MTN or Vodafone to buy a phone. I buy my phone, they give me connection. They are smart meter operators. In fact, the biggest smart meter manufacturer in West Africa is in my constituency, Alpha T&D. So why don't you allow them sell their meters? Any Ghanaian who wants a meter should go and buy a meter from an electrical shop. Then ECG comes in. Chief, we are talking serious matters with for our constituents. You sell these meters, and then let ECG engineers come in, check the standard. If it meets your requirements, you connect them. But why are you holding on to meters and people can't get meters for 2 years? And you complain that you are not making your revenue.
What is preventing you from buying more meters?
Money. We lack.
So why don't you allow the private people to buy it?
So that will be PURC. Honorable Chair, PURC would now have to make a clear pronouncement on the way forward, because our hands are tied.
Okay.
Our hands are tied as to we saying a private person should purchase it. But it's clear that the private person is willing to pay for the market price.
Of the rapid response team of the Forestry Commission in Bono region is missing. Vitus Yodong went missing during an operation in the Asokese Forest Reserve in the Sunyani district of the Forestry Commission. The team was dispatched to arrest some illegal chainsaw operators in one of the forest reserves.
Vitus Yodong is believed to have excused himself to attend to nature's call in the bush during the operation, but has since not returned. All attempts by the response team to find him have proven futile. The CEO of the Forestry Commission, John Alute, said the commission has reported the incident to the police to assist with investigation.
On the 2nd of July this year, it is a Asokese Forest Reserve. It was Sunyani district. Now we dispatch rapid response team. Some small town, a friend in Dadom, about 200 pieces somewhere here gunche. And your money some safe ho. Now more come be around. After say, be some of the microphone illegal logging, around. Almost had to say chainsaw. Juma or forest more. And tell me some
We were alerted that some persons were operating illegally in the Asokese Forest Reserve, and we dispatched a team into the forest. Persons engaged in illegal activities had escaped.
Workers, your money some easy and after some time, first one by second one, friend Vitus, you don't know or no Amba.
Vitus and another colleague later decided to attend to nature's call. They never returned. The team searched for him everywhere, but he was not found.
To 10 o'clock, villages near Bimbeno, job messages, and no more so become searching for that side of the forest. This are more since then, I report to
the matter has been reported to the police. Chiefs in surrounding communities too have been informed.
Forest no be more crack as I say perform some traditional rites and up to now. Who colleague worker Vitus Yondo and Sunyani.
Rapid response teams from various places have also been deployed to search for Vitus. Paul Derry is an uncle of Vitus Yodong. He says the family is appealing to the police to help find their relative as soon as possible.
It was yesterday in the morning that they called and got us informed that we should come here. We came straight to this particular place and we started with the transactions up to now. So what is actually happening is that for us, we cannot do anything. We don't know the terrain, we don't know anywhere. All that we are trying to do is that they have actually briefed us of what happened. and we've accepted in good faith. All that we are doing, we are only relying on them to be able to actually, get our brother. So as we are here, we're not going back now. We'll be here and we'll always go with them to the bush to go and search until we actually find him. If we don't find him, we are not going back.
The rapid response team seized some equipment, including chainsaws used by the illegal loggers in their activities.
It's live on Joy News today. We'll take a break. When we return, there's more coming to you from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segments on Joy News today with me, Pius Ojobaka. A senior fellow at Stanford University's Hoover Institution in the United States of America, Professor Daryl Duffy, has argued that moves by some central banks in Africa, including Ghana, to shift from the use of the US dollar for international trade may be too risky and possibly injurious to their national economies. In November last year, the government launched the Gold for Oil policy, which saw government pay for imported oil products with gold rather than through the US dollar. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at the time contended that all domestic sellers of oil would no longer need foreign exchange to import oil products. However, reacting to the claims, Professor Duffy said such moves should be the least considered policy options for countries such as Ghana. He spoke to Joy News' Blessed Suga.
It's not the easiest currency with which to make payments. It's quite awkward, actually, and its price is quite volatile relative to the prices of the things that are being traded, like oil. So, in terms of both payment efficiency and avoiding the risk that the value of the gold to one party or the other would change a lot, I don't think that's the most obvious arrangement.
You made the point earlier during the roundtable that you would prefer, OPEC countries would prefer to have their bills rather in dollars than in any other currency or store of value.
On economics, the dollar is the most natural choice because the dollar is so dominant internationally. Prices for commodities are usually quoted in dollars for a good reason. Now, there might be geopolitical reasons to depart from the dollar, in part to signal geopolitical stance. But in the end, unless something dramatic happens to the global economy, I think those countries will come back to paying in dollars.
Now, the agricultural sector in Ghana is confronted with multiple challenges, including the need to ensure profitability, adapt to climate change, and promote sustainable practices. Farmers are being entreated to adopt methods that are environmentally conscious and maximize returns. Clinton Yeboah has more in the following report.
Traditional agricultural practices such as bush burning, farm produce storage systems, monocropping, excessive chemical usage, and lack of product value addition are noted hindrances to cultural and environmental sustainability. The situation is worsened due to a lack of knowledge of proper farming models. 45 farmers and prospective farmers have received training from the SNV Boosting Green Employment and Enterprise Opportunities in Ghana project, partnering with Kwadaso Agricultural College. The SNV's Basic and Advanced Skills Training under its Opportunities for Youth Employment program seeks to equip beneficiaries with climate-smart agricultural practices. SNV Senior Skills Advisor Awudu Damani Musa indicated the key to maximum profits is to incorporate innovative methods into farming.
They needed some theoretical background in what they are doing and also some innovative ways of doing things. From hand to mouth is what they are doing. Through the training, they have learned how to process some of these produce that they themselves produce so that they can turn it into useful products or produce for them to maximize profits from it.
Ejiso Municipal Director of Agriculture, Dr. David Anambam, employed agricultural practitioners and experts to take up the task of educating farmers.
The extension officer is crucial for the farmer to do better. Averagely, it's 1,500 to one extension officer. We can also try to redemarcate our farmer population in the various districts. What we call opinion leaders. The opinion leaders are also trained locally, we train them locally, and they are like an extension of the officer So that education is going on, trying to help opinion leaders to also improve what they are doing, and then also programs like where you bring practitioners who are already in the job and you are bringing them to add the knowledge to refine their work is also better.
Principal of Kwadaso Agriculture College, Albert Apia Amwako, revealed the school is going digital.
So by the nature of the technology we are now using, in fact, so we are now going a bit of digital agriculture now. When I say digital agriculture, we even monitor the kind of produce right from production to harvesting through a lot of technologies that we are using. We talk about organic farming without the use of chemicals and all those things. These are good agricultural practices that we are doing.
Beneficiaries of the training and financial grants of the SNV Green expressed their appreciation and enlightenment.
Through their grant, currently I'm working on 7 acres of land, whereby I have employed more than 10 cashier workers whom they are working at my farm as I speak to right now. You see, and then I came here again to at least gain a lot of knowledge to use in my farming activities.
Aside that, much and then Coco met me yen be dear, but Coco na me yen, Omunia or DBA, because me no more me and much of my fasua. May ya met me.
And that's it for business, but do remember, on top of the hour, we shall bring you our Thought and Leadership series where we are focusing on the media budget. We've got a great panel lined up for you. Do stay on. Sports is next.
It's time for sports here on Midday. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, there's some breaking story coming from Kumasi because Burkina coach Seydou Zebo has revealed plans to report the club to FIFA over their refusal to settle salaries owed him. Zebo was sacked as head coach in March after a run of poor results. It is understood he is owed for 3 months and attempts to get the club to pay have not been successful. To some national team action, and later today at 4 p.m. the Black Queens of Ghana will take on Guinea in the second leg of qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games at the Accra Sports Stadium. Ghana has a 3-0 advantage after the resounding win in Conakry. The team held its final training session yesterday where coach Nora Hapto cautioned the players against complacency. My colleague Lawrence Bade was there and came through with this report.
The Black Queens command a 3-0 advantage from the first leg after the victory in Conakry last Friday. The team held its final training ahead of the game on Monday evening, with all 23 players completing the session. The return fixture against Guinea will be the 5th game for Nora Hapto since she was appointed as the head coach of the side. During the 4 games played, the Black Queens have scored 10 goals and conceded 0 in that period, winning all as well. Speaking before the team's training, the Swiss coach said Ghana has a tradition of controlling games and she's trying to implement that.
Of course, it's in our DNA in Ghana to be very creative, to have ball possession, to play offense, to take the initiative in the offense. But also there you need to know which spaces you can find against his opponent. We try to create a high rate of chances. Our XG factor, so what we put then in the goal out of these chances can still be developed much more. In Guinea we could have scored 6-7 goals. So also there we want to still develop and are very hungry, to score more goals. Behind we have a clear tactical frame also for the defense. It's also then a lot of discipline it calls to make the runs. And then we come back to our values, are we selfless and run in the defense for each other and fight for each other? And I think we did it pretty well against Guinea, but tomorrow it's a new game and we need to stick back to those values.
Portia Boache, who is the captain of the side, also added that the team will not be complacent against Guinea despite boasting a 3-goal advantage and will play again for the win on Tuesday.
I know we have a mission ahead of us. And I trust my girls very much that we are going to qualify. And as a captain, I always talk to my girls because adeɛ bi eba ɛma easy upe bibi ana bibi si wani so a ɛwɔ sɛ onkonkoden ansa na on set me ayɛ I can't crow no. So anytime bia no me no omo kasa sometimes me kasa kyerɛ omo one on one and they are ready to work for me and my coaches. So we are really prepared for this qualification.
Prior to Ghana's training session, Guinea were at the stadium earlier and speaking to the press, the head coach of the team said they will play to honor their country against the Ghanaians. The Black Queens will face the winner of the game between Guinea-Bissau and Benin should they go past Guinea.
That's your sports with me, Haruna Mubarak. Up next is World News.
And that's how we wrap up World News, and that's how we also part company on Joy News today. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. You know where to get more news and updates of all the developing stories is on myjoyonline.com. Over there, you'll find stories including I have never been to Bipotintin, Aisha One tells court. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Always a pleasure to serve you.